11th of May, Rabbi Furst, Ruth.
Good morning, Roy.
Okay, here we are
Good
together
morning,
again.
Roy. Good morning.
Good
Shalom,
morning.
everyone.
Morning, Roy.
Shalom. Thank you. Good morning, Lou. How is everybody?
Baruch Hashem.
Okay, fine. Lou, can I ask you to do something for a moment, please?
Certainly.
I noticed that Aaron Heimerwitz is he's logging into the to my Zoom meeting, which I usually do if you're not hosting. Right? Can you I don't have it. Where I'm now, I don't have his phone number. Can you call him and maybe also send him an email with your links for the Zoom session that we're doing? Because he's been trying to get into my session, and it's chaval if he's trying to get in and he's just going to the wrong address.
Okay, I'm doing it.
Okay, thank you very much. That'll I'm sure he'll be very grateful to that. Okay, appreciate that very much. Okay, yeah, very good. Let's in the meantime we'll get ready and we'll be returning to our explorations of Ruth. Let's get this on the computer here. We're in the second parak, and I think we left off with pasuk. Let me just take a look.
Second
Second parak, right? And we're in
6, 7,
let's see, 8.
I think it was 6 and 7.
I believe so, yeah. Tipo Alpana, Boaz Rus. Right. Okay, I think maybe in the eighth pair posting we've
What's the number 8? I didn't get him on the phone, but I sent him an email.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Lou. All right. Okay, so Ruth went out to the fields, and she found the one that happened to be to Boaz, who happened to be a relative of Elimelech. Right, so that worked out very good, and then right, I think let's start with the 8th verse if you don't mind. That'll be okay. Yeah, anyone?
I'm sorry. Where are we starting? In
chapter
we in
2.
Bays?
Chapter 2.
Yeah. Oh, we're not going ahead. We're
yeah. Pasuk 8.
Okay.
The 8th test. Yeah. Anyone like to begin to read?
Can I do it today?
Yeah, sure. If unless anyone.
Anybody have any objections? Okay. Vayomer Boaz El Rus, Hello Shamat Biti El Techi Lilkot Bizdei Acher V'gam Lo Tavori Mizeh V'cho Hadabakim Im Narosai. Boaz said to Ruth, didn't you hear, my daughter? Don't glean in other fields, and don't go away from here, and you shall stay here with my maidens. So he calls her Biti.
Right.
So I guess that's a way of distancing himself from her.
As opposed to,
You know what I mean? In other words, as opposed to saying, something more personal.
Hmm,
In other words, it's a fatherly thing to say.
right,
He's
right.
putting it. He's putting the relationship as father to daughter rather than any other possible, so to speak, romantic.
Yeah, yeah, that's yeah. There's no in this Megillus Rus. There's no romance in this Megillah.
Right,
There-
right, right.
Hollywood's not interested in Megillus Rus. They're not interested.
Right, exactly. So he's being very careful.
Right. Of course, Boaz is a very big tzaddik. He's a very, very big tzaddik. For sure. Right. Okay. Let's see. Does anyone have any commentaries on this that they would like to share with us on this particular pasuk? Do you have anything there, Roy? That's
Well, here it says, having heard that the girl is Naomi's daughter-in-law, he displayed special interest in her, but apparently did not reveal that he was a relative. Yeah.
right.
All right, that's about it. So hello at the beginning, near the beginning, he was seeking attention of his audience.
Excuse me.
With the word hello,
Yes.
hello, seeking attention of his audience. That's all I've got there.
Meaning he had an audience there? Was this some type of a public?
No. I mean, but the word audience is in quotes. Just the people that are around him there, his workers and.
Okay. Right. Okay. Like the onlookers.
Yeah, I suppose it was the women workers, because we're sort of saying stay close to my maidens, so they would have to be told as well that to take care of her. They probably would have anyway. I don't know, but still.
Right. Right. Okay.
Yeah. So right, because he didn't want her to get. He didn't want the men to bother her.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's the next pasuk. Yeah.
Okay. So let's go to that next pasuk.
V'nayich b'soda asher yikserun v'halacht acharehen halo tzviti et hanarim levilti nigich v'tzomos halacht el hakelim v'shotit me'asher yishavun narim. Your eyes shall be on the field that they reap, and you shall follow them. I have ordered the youths not to touch you. Yeah, I guess they. I guess there was a little frivolity going on, and if you were thirsty. And I guess with the youth, I guess among the youth there was a little frivolity going on. And if you are thirsty, you may go to vessels and drink from that which the youths draw. So he was very nice to her.
We have to. I mean, it's worth trying to understand what we have to try and understand that this generation that they were living in, doesn't, I don't know, they don't speak too highly about the, um, uh, about their moral levels, I think. I don't know. What do you say? What do you think? I mean, I know it's not me for the criticism. I know it, they probably, usually the earlier generations were on pretty high levels, but I don't know. Boys knew what was going on. Um,
Right.
um,
Yeah, he was, I guess it's true in any generation.
yeah.
You know, you
Well,
have, you have a certain group of people who are not educated enough to be aware of the halachos or whatever. That was
yeah. Uh, uh, right.
What's the word? Halacht. It's down there twice. I don't know what it is.
Let's take a look
The,
again.
the halacht. It's
Okay, it says here, "Einech besada asher yiksur." You should keep your eyes on the field that they're harvesting. Meaning, there's harvesting going on, right? So the Boaz has workers who are doing the harvesting, right? So they're going from fields to fields, and each day they probably do a different field. So he was instructing her, keep an eye on where they're harvesting, v'telach achrei, and go after them. I mean, follow after them. The workers are gonna go and do their work and harvest, and then whatever's left over, that's the shichach and leket. That's the leftover. So that's left over. There's the Torah commands that you leave that over for the Yanim to collect whatever they forget or whatever they leave back in the field. So he's telling you, just keep your eyes on where they're harvesting, and follow after them, and then you'll you'll get the easy pickings that's left over, right? The vilti negdech, that I've commanded the youths not to touch you, right? V'tzimas v'lacht esake elakalim, and then she said, but if you're going to be tzamis, if you're going to get thirsty, right? You should go elakalim, go to those vessels, yeah, and drink. I share you should learn arm, and then you should drink. You can drink from what was left over, what was there for the narim. The work, I guess, the narim were the workers that he had working for him, and I guess he had, it's, this time of year it's hot and sunny, and people get thirsty in the middle of their work. So Boaz, being a big tzaddik, had prepared for them water that they could drink from. So he was giving Ruth permission that she could also drink from the water that's been set aside for his workers, right? So again, it could be that Boaz knew that if you have this woman being out there in the fields with the workers, on a daily basis, so they're like I say, the Torah doesn't deny biology. Kadosh Baruch Hu created the world that it should be populated, and Hashem's very interested in the world, in populating the world. Very important that the world be populated, but of course it has to be done in a proper way. You have to have marriages and people having families, right? But since you have people who are naturally inclined to members of the opposite sex, so if Ruth was going to be out there on a daily basis with the workers, could be that there'd be a little bit hanky panky there. So he was warning her to go behind them, and he warned them to leave her alone. And at the same time, he was telling her that she has reshus, that she can go over to the water vessels and drink from the water that's been prepared for the workers. So she shouldn't think she couldn't.
So, the halacht, lach means what, left over?
No, halach is to go,
Or
right?
to, the halacht?
Meaning it says feminine. Feminine, you should go if you're thirsty, right? If she gets thirsty, which she probably will, right?
Yeah.
She can go and get the water that's been set up for the workers.
Good. Feminine.
Weren't there other poor people who were also gleaning in the fields?
Probably. Yeah, I imagine so. Yeah. Just that's
Yeah.
that was their
Because that's what.
that's
Yeah.
their parnassa. That's how they that's how they put food on the table, right?
Yeah.
Especially now at the time of the harvesting. Then I could be harvesting 12 months a year. The harvest takes place during a short time of the year, and then now's their time to get to gather all the leftovers from the harvest that they can get. So it's very important that the that the aniyim and the poor people be aware of when and how they're harvesting, and they should be able to get what Hashem has given to them. Hashem gave these gifts for the poor as a way of providing them with an honorable way of getting a little bit parnasa. Here the poor person, he's not just getting a handout, but he's actually going into the fields and he's getting what he can manage to scrounge up on his own, which is pretty good. He's a industrious fellow, gets out there early in the morning and stays late at night. He can go and get quite a lot of food for his family. It's just there waiting for him, right?
Mm.
All you got to do is pick it up. So that's the only thing is to try and understand a little bit better that what the kavanah of this pasuk was. Work. Do it work. Looks like Rav Aaron's tuning into his work. Baruch Hashem.
Okay. He's on mute.
Okay, maybe he'll unmute. It could be. Well, it's. So I tell you in the Pesachta Zutrasa, which is a compilation of Medrash, explains here that this is going to add to our collection of sources. Tzivisias and Narim Lebilti Nagi says he brings down that Misubim Heim Har Sinai. That what was the tzivoy? This is a little bit derech remez. What was the tzivoy that the pasuk is indicating here? We have to ask a ger, that you should love the ger. What do you say about that, Barry?
Oh, well, the Malbim says here in this edition that I have,
Yeah.
it says, when he says, actually, he says, because of the kindness, Boaz is telling, because of the kindness you showed your mother, and for your conversion, may you be rewarded. because he is the God of Israel and watches over the Israelites and the proselytes who join them.
Yeah, you
So,
see that?
so it seems that at this point, according to the Malbim, she was already converted.
Right. So again, now we we know that there's a basic machlokus, right? There's a basic machlokus as to when Ruth converted, right? So according to Rashi, she wasn't converted originally at the time of her marriage to Kilion, right? According to the Ibn Ezra, maybe it'll be worthwhile. We'll go back and see some of the comments of the Ibn Ezra. We'll get it further in. The Ibn Ezra says that at the time of the marriage, she was misguided already. Right. So the Malbi may be learning, according to the Mahalach of the Ibn Ezra. Okay.
So I do you 10?
Right. So let's go to the next pasuk.
Okay. Vatipol al paneha vatish tachu arza vatomer elav madua mitzati chen be'enecha v'hakireni v'anochi nochria. So she fell on her face and prostrated herself to the ground. And she said to him, why have I pleased you that you should take cognizance of me, seeing that I am a foreigner? So, I mean, doesn't it seem a little overdoing it that she has to flop down on the ground? I mean, he was nicer. He says, like he was kind to her and he recognized her, etc. So how about this? Thank you. Thank you for your kindness. I mean, flopping down on the ground is a pretty,
Well,
that's a pretty strong thank you.
yeah. Well, you see, we don't go along with these things too much in our day and age. We're not really aware of the actual how great is our obligation of our debt of gratitude. A debt of gratitude is something which is very serious, right? That a person, you have to realize that she also and don't forget, she called herself a nachriya. She called herself a stranger. I mean, she in all fairness, she really was a stranger, and in those days, people didn't like strangers. I mean, even and she was not even whether she was considered a Jewess at that time or not. That's a whole other story, right? Right, that she called herself a stranger, right? Oh, actually, all right. You should know. You should know. You could add this, Mary. You could add this to your list. Okay, when she said the Radak, right? The Radak. Well, if you're familiar, the Radak is one of the major commentaries on Tanakh, right? The Radak. Yeah. He actually he lived in France in 1160, right? I mean, he was there around Rashi's time, or a little bit after Rashi, right? And he's very he's right there in the commentaries of Tanakh. So he says, right, with this statement, "Va'anochi nachriya," and I am a stranger. So he says, Kaloimer, he says, Pshat, Kaloimer me'eretz nachriya, v'acheres. Meaning that when she said that I'm a stranger, that means she came from a foreign country, right? Because
Right.
he
Yeah.
says, listen to this. Ki lo aisa nachriya. She wasn't a stranger. Ki kavar nisgayer, because she was already misgayer at that point. So the Radak, that's how you list that the Radak learns that she was already had been misgayer. Because it says, Kamosha Omer, he's going back to that pasuk, Imcha imi, Elokecha, Elokai, that your people are my people, and your God is my God. So at that point, right, at that point, when she said, your people is my people, your God is my God, he's learning that at that point, she was misguided. So I want to put forth a couple of points in a timeline that she could have been misguided at the time of her original marriage. That's one time.
Right.
She could have been misguided.
Right.
She could have been misguided at the time when Naomi was telling her to go back, and she said, "No, my people are your people are my people, and your God is my God." Meaning, at the time when she was returning with Naomi to Eretz Israel, that could have been a point of her being misguided, right? And then a third possibility is she could have been misguided at the time when she was finally getting ready to be with Boaz.
Right.
So you have at least three specific times when she could have been misguided, and then there might be a difference in commentaries as to when exactly that took place.
Is it possible also to say that when the fields were being harvested and the the workers came to do the jobs, Boaz's workers, the people who followed to get the leket and the payah could only be Jews?
Oh, so that the Brisker Rav goes into that. He says in terms of halacha, only Jews can take it, but because of Darki Shalom, right? Because of we want to have peaceful relations with the non-Jews, so you can allow them if they come. You can allow them to come in too. But that all depends if who's on the upper hand. If the goyim were in charge of us, or we're in charge of the goyim. If we're in charge of the goyim, we can send them away. And at that time, probably we were in charge of the goyim, and those any goyim that were living in Eretz Israel, we probably were in charge of them.
Okay. All right, so that's another possibility. But also, I wanted to add that I'm been looking around, I can't find it, but that there was also the possibility that when Boaz convened the Bezdin to make the offer to Ploni Almoni that he should take over the field, the inheritance, and marry Ruth, that at that time that the Bezdin convened for this legal transaction, that it was at that time that she was converted.
Right. That could be also right. That could be also. Okay. That I said again, as we know, we have a wide difference of opinion on this subject, so we just have to keep looking and trying to find proofs and supports for each one of the different opinions.
Right.
Okay, let's continue on with the next verse.
V'ya'an Boaz Vayomer la. Boaz replied to her and he said, Who godly kol asher asi et hamotech acharei mos ishtech v'tazvi avicha v'imech eretz yulatech v'telchi el am asher lo yodat tamul shilsham. And Boaz replied and said, it was told to me that all that you did for your mother-in-law after your husband's death, and you left your father and your mother and your native land, and you went to a people that you did not know before.
Well,
Yeah.
that,
Well,
that-
that's a little additional proof that she was Megayer at that time. She was
could
already
be.
Megayer.
Yeah,
You went to a people.
right. And first of all, I wonder who told him. Who told him all this?
Yeah. Well, I guess it was news that Naomi came back. So it was a big
Yeah, well,
news because
yeah, yeah, sure. We saw that the whole town was when Naomi came back, they would have made a big made all the papers, right?
yeah, especially because not only because like it's a big chiddush that she came back, but then all the whole questions of all the inheritance and all that business was now on the table.
Right.
So he would be aware of that discussion.
Yeah.
Ay, ay, ay.
What's that, Barry?
It's really everything is all hanging up in the air.
Yeah.
All a lot of things are not actually settled.
No.
I guess because is it fair to say we really don't have to know? I mean,
Yeah. Look, I guess it does. It's like, well, since we weren't told, I guess it's not for whatever reason. Um, it wasn't made known specifically.
right. It's not the main point.
No, I guess not. As we see, there's it left quite a place for discussion about it. האיש תעזיב עמך ותעזב אביך. Let's see this here.
Oh, yeah. So the Malbim says that when Boaz replied to her,
Right.
why did you take notice of me? Boaz, according to the Malbim, it says, you have pleased me for two reasons. It was told to me all that you did for your mother-in-law after your husband's death, etc., etc. And you were her only support and help. And two, your conversion was purely for the sake of heaven without any ulterior motives any hope of physical gain, for you left your father and your mother and your native land, and you went to a people you did not know before. This was surely only for the sake of heaven. So, according to the Malbim, again, he's making the point that she was already Megayer.
Right. Right. Roy, do you have any commentaries on this?
No, I'm just writing in comments that you've been saying.
Rebbe, it makes sense that she was Megayer before, because if you want to say she was Megayer after she met up with Ruth and the possibility of marriage and all that, so that would be her. She might that could look like she was Megayer for personal reasons, so she
Right.
could marry this rich old man, right? So the Malbim's making the point that she was Megayer at a time when there was no hidden motives.
Right. Oh, right. We'll have to see about this. Okay. All right. Let's see the next pasuk.
Okay. Yishalim Hashem Palech he misbirtech Shalema Me'im Hashem Elokei Israel Asher Bod V'chasod Tachti Tachte Kenofov. May the Lord reward your deeds, and may your reward be full from the God of Israel, under whose wings you have come to take shelter. Ah, okay. Yeah.
So so that seems to so in the eyes of Boaz, what does that seems to indicate?
That she's already converted.
Apparently, yeah, that's pretty strong, no? That's a pretty strong statement that Boaz is making here.
But he's yeah. But
Okay.
Boaz is also emphasizing that besides the conversion, that she does meisim tovim. She's a good person. She's a tzedekis. He's recognizing her qualities.
Yeah, well, that's probably based on what he heard that what she did with Naomi. She was there watching.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. All right. Just trying to see here. Let's see here. Wow. Kiko miracles. Okay. All right. All right, let's continue on.
Vatomer. Emsechain beinecha, Adoni, ki nemachtani v'ki deravta al lev shifchotecha v'anochi lo eyeb be'achat shifotecha. And she said to him, let me find favor in your sight, Adoni, for you have comforted me, and you have spoken to the heart of your handmaiden, but I am not as worthy as one of your handmaids.
Why should she say that? That doesn't make sense. And
She's saying, Rashi says, I am not as worthy as one of your handmaids.
Yeah, what's right? Let's see Rashi. What's Rashi say? Any chashuva ka'achas min hasivla. I'm not significant. I don't have so I'm not so important as one of your maidservants. I'm not important as even one of your maidservants. Seems a little surprising, no? Why does it seem to be she's degrading herself in some way?
Yeah, she's being humble.
Humble. Yeah, why should she make herself humble at this point?
Because she's a modest lady.
Excuse me, say that again, please, Barry.
She's being modest.
She's
a modest sneus. Yeah, sneus is not just covering your elbows and your ankles. It's it's your midos, the way you behave to people.
Right. Second. So I guess that's another meter that we see from Ruth, that she was not only she did chesed, right? She was a kind, she was doing kindness, but she was also a very modest person. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very good. So let's see. That leaves. That brings us to Pasuk Yud Gimel.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's probably a good point to stop at this now,
Up here, okay.
and we'll take a break till the next year bit. Okay, Roy. Thank you for joining us. I hope to see you
Thank you.
tomorrow. Should have a good afternoon.
You too. Be well. Learn well.
Hey, see you tomorrow, Roy.
Okay. You too. Be well and
Okay,
learn
good.
well.
Right.
Amen.
And we'll see you in a few minutes.
All right. All right. Oh, Aaron's gone. Okay.
Yeah. Full screen. Okay. All right. So we'll take a break.
Oh,